Action.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kirti, and let's discuss something which is very relevant in the environment today. Yes, it's accountability, rising above one's circumstances. Again, a personal choice. So let's understand it better with an example. Some time back, there was this instance recorded where the Fair Labor Association submitted a report to Foxconn, which is the biggest supplier of Apple. There were instances where many of the laborers committed suicide, and now indeed this had become the matter of concern for them. There were many associations which submitted their representations to Apple. Now, now portraying a behavior which was being an epitome of accountability, Apple made sure that it amended the working conditions and the paying style to Foxconn, which indeed took care of all the quells and rectified the situation. Now, this is about accountability portrayed by an organization. Let's come down to an individual level. If I have to ask you, what is accountability? What would you mean? What do you mean by this? Or how does it even help us? Do we all know the answers? I'm sure I didn't until I started practicing it. Accountability is rising above one's circumstances and making sure that you find a solution to a situation rather than playing the blame game. You may blame the circumstances, the situations, the choices, or you may even think of blaming yourself. But is that accountability? Does it help us? No. Let's understand the difference between accountability and responsibility. What is it? Let me give you an example. When you join an organization, your responsibility would be your job description, a few expectations added by your manager. How you do it, what skills you apply becomes your accountability. Right? Now that we've spoken about the difference between responsibility and accountability, how do you think being accountable would help me? Think for yourself. Would you not be taken as a credible person? Someone who comes across as being reliable, trustworthy? Yes, you would be. It indeed helps you to get in the spotlight where people start looking up to you when they have to find a solution. Right? So you start branding yourself. You start placing yourself or stancing yourself being the best amongst the rest. Now, do you think it is? Do you think accountable? We are born to be accountable, or we are born with the skill of being accountable, or is that something that can be developed? Yes, we can develop it. It indeed is a skill, however, it's more about the behaviors that you portray would make you come across as being accountable. What do you think can we do about it? I would say the first step to accountability is acknowledging reality, understanding things as they are. We all have our own ways of looking at things. We all have our own perceptions. But then that becomes my truth. To understand what is the truth, I may have to look at things differently. I may have to talk to different people. I may have to gather their perceptions, their way of acknowledging the situation. And when you have things on a platter, it becomes easier for you to think of it as your truth, which is wrong. So when I start seeing things as they are, it automatically gives me the power to get up and change it. Because now you started being accountable. You're not trying to pass the trail. right? Seeing that. After seeing that, what can we do about it? There are two things. You either own it or you become a victim. When you own it, you decide to do something about it. Now, after you decide to do something about it, you need to understand or you need to know what has to be done. With that comes your third step, which is solve that. When I talk about solve that is looking at things as they are, owning them, and the third is looking for options that you have. I don't say we live on the worst, but you should be prepared for the worst. If my plan A doesn't work, do I have a plan B? If my plan B doesn't work, do I have a plan C? Now, this is solve that. We all know about the thirsty crow. Now I have just modified the concept a bit. My crow is a smart crow. What he does is, if he doesn't find the pebbles to put in the pot and drink water, he maybe flies a bit ahead and thinks of getting a straw. However, if he doesn't get the straw, he still feels he is competent enough to take care of the situation. He has a beak. All he does is, he pecks it into the pot, the water oozes, he drinks and he goes. When we are prepared for it, we can handle any situation. This is solve that, keeping all your options ready. The last and the most differentiating step would be do that. You have planned everything, you've acknowledged the situation, you've owned it. However, things would change only when you take the last step of doing it, executing it, implementing it. Absolutely. Friends, this was just a bit about understanding what is accountability and how does it help us. I hope it helps. Thank you so much.